All right, chat. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm kind of scrambling over here for the release of NTE. So, I'm like losing a lot of where everything is happening, but I think I'm getting back on track. So, this is a video that was sent to me. How a Noodle company broke pro Valorant. What? Chat, I don't know if you guys know about me, or if I've said it before, but I'm a huge fan of esports and stuff like that. Obviously, my favorite thing to watch still is League of Legends, Pro League of Legends. Even though I hate the game and I will never probably play it again, watching it is great. And then close second, although I kind of want to put it in first now, will be fighting games. I've never actually watched Pro Valorant outside of a clip of the Spanish commentators. I just wanted to see what that was like. Anyways, let's watch this.
Seen these noodles before. You can basically find them in any shop that sells.
I should have a few leftover Shin Ramen. I do. I have some Shin Ramen right here left over. And chat, the reason why I have these specifically, they are very good, but I got these specifically because they have the K-pop Demon Hunter thing on them. These are K-pop Demon Hunter collab, I guess they had. So yeah, I have one with Rumi and one with Zoe. I have to finish these. I ate like 2 of them. They're really good, by the way. I've been trying different ramens out, and I really like the Shin Ramen. It's really good. But yes, I kind of got it because of K-pop Demon Hunters. I even have to. I was gonna go get the other ones because I had the one with the Saja boys, but I haven't bought it yet. I still need to finish these before I buy more.
Instant ramen anywhere in the world. This symbol is pretty recognizable. They're called Shin Ramyun noodles. They're actually made by a Korean company called Nongshim. Nongshim began noodle operations all the way back in 1965, but they've since expanded to become a multifaceted conglomerate.
This is gonna sound weird, but if you guys know anything about Korean esports, it's not the weirdest question. Do they have a team? I don't know. That's a good question.
Building their profiles in multiple industries, mostly just to sell more noodles. Weirdly enough, one of those industries, and the one I'm most familiar with, is esports. Esports is a huge market in South Korea, particularly with Riot's major title, League of Legends. I mean, Faker is one of the most famous people in Korean society. Oh
god, dude. I did say, and I guess I have to. I said that if Faker won his 5th Summoners Cup, I will buy that year's that'd be the last year's, which would be the skins would be releasing this year. I said I would buy the entire bundle. Faker won. Spoiler alert, he won his 5th title, so I now have to buy all the skins for an account I'll probably never use again.
Ever. Nongshim wanted to use League of Legends to, guess what? Sell more new.
What? Sorry, chat. My channel's been my main channel. Chat, if you guys want NTE content, main channel, youtube.com/BlueDemonRin. That's why if you see anything like that where I just got a sub, that's on the main channel. Sorry, I didn't expect that. I'm so sorry.
So they picked up a team, and eventually they qualified to the top Korean league.
Wait. Was I right?
Like ever. Nongshim wanted to use League of Legends to, guess
there
what?
It is.
Sell more noodles.
has a team.
So they picked up a team, and
I knew it. They had a team.
Top Korean league, the LCK. They've never been amazing, but most Korean League of Legends fans would probably recognize the logo of Nongshim Red Force. But in 2020, Riot released a...
I wonder if Nongshim has any players I would recognize. Because I recognize Nongshim Red Force. Because they have some... this is for Valorant. Here you go, Wikipedia. Do they have any... They have Scout. I think I know Scout. Calyx. I don't know who that is. Lehens. Oh, they have Lehens. I know who Lehens is. Do they have any, let's say, any former players that I would know? Literally, Lehens is one of them. I know Lehens. He's a very famous player. Oh, they had Peanut. He's a very, very good jungler, if I remember correctly. Effort go BDD. I thought he was Chinese. No, he's Korean. I think he was just on a Chinese. No, I think he was actually Korean. Always on a Korean team. Was he? I swear he was on the Chinese team. BDD. Because I know that name. BDD. Nongshim Red Forest, KT Rolster, Genji, CJ Entis. Oh, he was on Longju. And then he was on KDX, which has the coolest name I've ever seen. King Zone Dragon X. That is the most that's the most gamer name I've ever seen. I love that team. I love that team name. Yeah, King Zone Dragon X, KT Rolster, Gen G. Wait, was this on the year they won the finals? 2019, probably not. Nongshim Red Force, and then KT Rolster. Okay, so I know some of these players.
Another game, and its esport is becoming one of the biggest in the world. Valorant's esports scene,
really?
the VCT, has been.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. I actually didn't know much about Valorant's esports team because I thought they just cut it or something, right? Or maybe no, actually they did. Obviously, I know they still probably had it going on just because, they still have the skin bundles, and I always want the SKT one. I never buy it just because I don't play Valorant enough to warrant getting a new skin, right? With the skins that I have, I was playing it at the time. Now I just don't have time for it, right? I have to cover all the gacha games, and then, what else do I play? That's it. I just have time for this channel and gacha games. That's kind of about it.
Thriving since it began over 5 years ago.
Especially because I think I'm a creator now.
Nongshim saw an opportunity to break into the Korean Valorant scene. But when they entered Valorant esports, I don't think even Nongshim could have predicted just how special their team was going to become.
Wow.
The story of Nongshim in Valorant starts in 2023, where they picked up a Valorant team to compete in the Tier 2 League, with the aim of eventually winning it and getting promoted to VCT Pacific. Ooh. Unfortunately, they were kind of mid for pretty much their entire stint in the league. Well, aside from the end of 2024, Nongshim was starting to establish themselves as maybe the best team in the league, and eventually made it to the finals, where winning would grant them a spot in the Pacific Ascension Tournament to compete for that elusive spot in Tier 1.
Is that the Korean League? What's it called? What's the word I'm looking for, chat? The arena? That's really small. It might just be for this one, right? Because I've actually been to a game for League of Legends, and it was like one of the... Oh, God. It's the Pro Bowl. It's the Pro Bowl for League of Legends, which would be the game after Worlds. Pro Bowl is like... with the top players kind of playing like some wacky conditions. There's like tandem mode, 1v1, stuff like that. I went to one of those games, and it was a pretty small arena compared to what you would see as like the finals.
They were up against a fairly unknown team, Sinpresa Gaming, with some young Korean upstarts and a super aggressive playstyle. But even though they were unknown, Sinpresa Gaming were actually the team who was going to win this match. Because the guys on SPG had actually already played in the league a year before under the name Team OGS, and the core three members, Francis, Danby, and Ivy, were a group of 17-year-old close friends. They also happened to be really good at Valorant, and so they decided to take a shot at playing professionally. Much like Nongshim, they didn't do much in 2023, which meant their only option to qualify into the league was to take on Valorant's new in-game tournament system, Premier.
Oh yeah,
Premier was very new and kind of random, with a huge amount of best of ones required to qualify. They managed to finish second in the open qualifiers, which granted them a spot in the play-ins for the next league split. They had to beat Korean mainstay Onslayers to qualify. Win, and they secured a place in the Korean League, with a distant shot at qualifying to the very top level of the game. Lose, and it was back to Premier, and just playing with the boys for fun.
Yeah. Round win.
And after
that was always cool for me, right? As someone who's always watched League of Legends, to see a game have Marvel Rivals has this too. I don't know about Overwatch. I don't even think, does Gogurt Watch still have a league? I think so, right? They were bought by Saudi Arabia or something like that. I really like when games have that in-client tournament style, right? I think it's really cool. I think Marvel Rivals has it. Valorant has it. League does not. It has something close to it, but it will never really take you anywhere, right? It's just for fun. It's whatever it's called. I don't even remember what it's called, but yeah, that's just for shits and giggles and in-game currency, right? You don't really get anything out of it other than that.
Qualified into the league, they took it by storm. 7 consecutive wins in the group stage led to some strong momentum for the playoffs, where they ran through the upper bracket into the grand final. That brings us back to this match against Nongshim Red Force, a team with the backing of one of the biggest brands in South Korea, versus a group of friends who happen to be really good at Valorant, for a spot at the tournament that could qualify you into VCT Pacific.
Ooh, got his ass. They win, Sin Preset Gaming.
Winning the Korean League was impressive, but Ascension was a whole different ballgame. The winners would qualify to the next season of VCT Pacific, and everyone else would go home with nothing. The tournament was being held in Jakarta, and so the crowd would be backing those Indonesian teams big time. SPG would have to level up their game to win the tournament, and luckily they did. Danby's Neon was a bright spot for them in Korea, so they decided to lean fully into it, playing Neon comps on every map besides Icebox.
I love Neon. She's actually one of the reasons why I committed so hard to playing Valorant was because of Neon. I loved her so much. She was really cute, kind of tomboyish. I really liked her, so I played her. I actually played her league equivalent as well. Oh God, what's her name? I almost said Zoe. That's not her name. I don't remember, but she was fun. Zeri was her League of Legends equivalent, and I think they even share an English voice actor. I played a lot of Zeri, although on release, she was not that good. By the time she was good, I had already quit League of Legends, which sucks, because I really like Zeri. Which, that's kind of like the whole thing with me playing League. Oh, I lost it. Hold on, give me a second. Wait, I didn't even lose the I don't know what that tab happened. I didn't even lose it. I don't know what just happened.
It worked.
Yeah.
As the tournament played out, it became clear that SPG were the ultimate favorites to win the grand final and ascend into VCT Pacific. There was only one match between them and Glory. And as it turned out, that match was one of the greatest of all time.
Ooh.
It's all down to Persia. He's been good in this overtime so far, but can he do it
One off the orbital.
He might be the prince. 1 kill for the ultimate, but Berserk tries to stick the spike. His teammate just needs to stay alive.
Open up the skies.
He sticks it. SPG.
Oh, he killed him on the clutch.
The kill, the ultimate, the orbital strike. And
that orbital strike actually killed him before he lived, before he had defused. That title is actually really cool looking.
Pacific.
After this 5-map banger of a series, SPG had qualified to VCT Pacific, coming from Premier at the start of the year,
really
and they were the first team ever to do so. But as it turns out, SPG were kind of a small org, so Nongshim decided to buy them out before the start of the 2025 season.
Wow,
that meant SPG would be competing in Tier 1 under the Noodle brand. They started to get a reputation as scrim demons from...
But... this is the most important question. And Chad, I know this is the most important question that you are also thinking. Does that mean they get free noodles? Does their office or where they play scrims and stuff like that, their building, is there free complimentary noodles? I wonder.
Both Pacific teams and the teams that traveled to Seoul for champs, and there was definitely some hype from the community around them as VCT kickoff began. Unfortunately, though, they never quite lived up to those top expectations, finding their place as a consistent playoff team throughout the season.
Okay,
they did
that's
bring
not
in
terrible.
Korean veteran player RB to try and stimulate some team growth, but their one-dimensional Neon-reliant style was countered by a league that was already used to dealing with aggressive teams, and as a result, they finished the league in a comfortable 5th-6th place. But without making it to champions, changes to the Ascension rule set meant that Nongshim would have to re-earn their spot in the league by finishing top 2 at the next Ascension tournament. They made one change coming into their second Ascension appearance.
Wait, is
Young
there
Prodigy
constant
from the old
regulations
Nongshim roster
in this?
came into the
It's kinda
team
cool.
because even though he was
I honestly think that league should have kept regulations, something like that. Because in my personal opinion, I think it made North America weaker to have people just keep their spot and they don't play anymore, bro. They're not hungry for the spot anymore. But that's just me. I have a lot to say about North American League of Legends. You don't want to. We should be a wild card team at this point, is all I'm saying.
Underage to play in VCT, he could still play in Ascension. This was a risky move to make just before the most important tournament of their careers, and it looked like it was going to be a mistake. They were destroyed by Filipino team Naos in the first match, and that meant one more loss would make them lose their slot in VCT Pacific. One more loss, and they'd wasted their golden opportunity. But they didn't have one more loss. Nongshim ran through the upper bracket of Ascension, winning 5 straight BO3s to face Boom in the final match of the tournament once again. Nongshim defeated them in a slightly less intense fashion this time, re-earning their spot in VCT Pacific for 2026. This time with more hunger than
this
ever.
is recently, 2026.
And I don't just mean for Noodles. But if you play Valorant from your bedroom like these guys did, you've probably dealt with bad internet and high ping. I know I used to.
Is this an
ad?
ad?
That sounds like you, then the sponsor of today's video, Exit Lag, might just be able to help. If you're a regular viewer, you'll already know how Exit Lag can reduce lag in your games, with its specifically optimized servers for over 2,000 titles, including Valorant, League of Legends, CS2, and all the other big esport games. Exit Lag's AI route optimization
Chat, you want to have the optimal ping
will ensure your data
for when you play with your e-kitten.
The server, giving you
Chat, there's nothing worse that could happen in the middle of your game than you lagging out while you're trying to impress your e-kitten. That's what these services are really for. You gotta perform at your best so you can get an ooh out of your e-kitten.
Games. But the best part about Exit Lag is probably how easy it is to use. Just click my link in the description, create an account, download the software, and see the results for yourself. And with their current offer of a whole year's subscription for only half the price, now is the perfect time to try it. Thanks to Exit Lag for sponsoring this portion of the video. Nongshim were coming into the year with even more confidence in their aggressive playstyle than in 2025. DRX had showed that double duelist comps could really work on the international stage, and this style suited Nongshim really well. They lent into Neon Yoru comps, which allowed Dambi to continue his space-creating role and gave Francis the freedom to completely frag out. The kickoff tournament for 2026 utilized a new triple elim format, one that would eventually come to be loved by the community, which gave every team 3 chances before being eliminated. Nongshim didn't really need to worry about that though, because they won 3 games in a row to come 1 win away from Masters Santiago, a best of 5 against RRQ. They still had 3 chances to qualify, and if they lost this game, it definitely wasn't the end of the road, but they would have to play the following BO5s on consecutive days if they kept losing. Winning here would just make the entire process easier, and so they did.
Francis in position.
There it is.
Much, especially with Shorty as well. The rest of Nongshim,
here we go.
With the overdrive, just look to end it all in this round. It's the overdrive from Daffy that does it with a quad, and it's just Xpharaoh to try to stave this off. Onto the spike, it's stuck on the defuse, and Xpharaoh, X-Ross,
get peeked,
he's not
idiot.
letting go. Suddenly, it's just crazy guy.
Get turned on, idiot.
He tries to step through, but it's a huge decay. A singular outline, and that will
found
be
him.
RB.
What are the wait? What was that one? That one was 7 to 12. All right, this one was a little bit closer. One of them was like 5 to like 13. That wasn't even close at all. This was kind of closer.
Cage Slayer. It's Nongshim Red Force, and they will claim their spot.
Even though this game ended up finishing 3-2, it felt more like a 5-0. Nongshim had 12-10 and 6-1 leads on the maps they lost, and they ended the series by going up 12-1 on
12 to 1
Nongshim
on
had easily
RRQ.
qualified to Santiago, undefeated as the Pacific.
I think the most impressive and the best part about this is, I believe they're still with their original players, right? I think they only brought in 1 new player, and that's not even to say that they traded anyone. So that's really cool that they just kept the same team.
Big first seed, and that meant they got a free pass into the playoffs.
Is that like a flag, or is that like a whole mouse pad? That's kind of cool.
Nongshim arrived in Chile to find that they weren't the only ones playing double duel.
These are some random ass places to play these games, right? But at the same, damn, she's thick. I apologize for that. I was so distracted. I'm like looking forward, and if when I look forward, I just see. Doesn't matter. I apologize, chat. It's just whatever. The cool part about this is I really like how these tournaments are in different places, right? I'm used to like League of Legends where all the tournaments are China, South Korea, and then Europe, and then North America. That's it. They never really go to anywhere different. They just kind of rotate the major regions, right? I think one of them was in Brazil, I want to say. But typically, they just kind of rotate that out, like the major ones. And honestly, I felt like it's been in China the most of the times, but it hasn't. I checked the other day because I was like, when was the last time it actually came to North America? 2022, by the way. Found that one out.
Comps. In fact, almost every team at the tournament opted for 2 duelists on most maps. This meta suited Nongshim extremely well, because not only had they been playing this style for longer than everyone else, they also had a unique take on it that suited their players perfectly. But they had another unique advantage. Danby was the best player in the world at utilizing a judge that probably should have been nerfed a couple of years ago. If other teams in Santiago weren't ready for his shotgun, then they might just get destroyed. With 4 strong teams emerging from the Swiss stage, Nongshim chose to face the least experienced squad of the 4, Gentlemates. If Nongshim had the best Neon player in the world with Danby, Gentlemates had the best Yoru player in the world with Martin. He'd completely dominated VCT EMEA and continued that form into the Swiss stage of Santiago, even to the point where people were calling the team Martin and Friends, or Martin and his mates. It would take a strong performance from Nongshim to stop his momentum, and even though this was their first match on the international stage, they seemed up to the task. Hold on a second.
What?
This wasn't their first match on the international stage, was it? They'd already played 2 Ascension tournaments, and both of those had much bigger stakes than this. If they lost out in Santiago, they still had the whole year to prove themselves as a great team. If they lost out in Ascension, their careers might well be over before they'd even begun. From the outside looking in, it might have seemed like Nongshim were the ones under pressure in this game. Right. But in reality, they were just there to have fun. And have fun they did.
They just align against the Collat. Francis and Danby both going to be struck down. Ivy, however, on that flank, comes away with 2 kills. X-Ross able to find 1.
3.
That's Ivy!
Make it 4.
A 1v1. He's got the judge at range. The alarm bot set up the block off the one side. This is going to give him a lockdown as well. Recalls it.
Go,
the swing of the card.
Oh, that click.
What an ungodly Red Bull clutch.
The Red Bull Baron power play.
Going to be coming in. Danby sliding forward, able to find 1, get some damage on. That follow-up there.
I love watching Danby run in.
Shotgun, relay
Boom, bitch.
Red Bull clutch.
I love Neon, bro. I love Neon so much as a character. I'm kind of sad that they actually removed. This is really funny. They removed a mechanic where her wall, she could throw up a wall. The wall used to be able to damage everybody, even your teammates. I used to sometimes get someone close to dying, and then I would throw the wall up, and they were burning it and dying. It's so fun.
Able to find 1, get some damage.
I'm just sad they removed that.
That follow-up there is Bippo will get his legs cut up beneath him.
Boom.
And Danby gets 2 with a Bucky. Well, looks for a little bit more. Clip with a nice headshot. We'll be able to catch him on the jump, but Ivy still here, still standing, still breathing, still fighting.
Nightmare, take him.
Now puts that spike down on the
there's
floor.
A spike.
As the Nightfall does go across, gets the decay into these players. And Ivy has to transfer another 4K from him.
Was that? Were they caught inside of that ult?
Solo with the shorty in hand. Swings in, shuts down 1. Technically restable there for Mini.
He still has the judge. He still has the judge.
If they can find the space, but there you go. Starzo brings him back from the grave. The swing out the judge.
Oh my god.
Them all. Danby.
Oh, what a play.
Francis, however, able to find 1 at Danby. It just slides right in.
Overdrive.
Another 3 kills.
Oh, he got her.
Cliff will sit him down, but I don't think he can make this
They
one
actually got
happen.
Danby right there.
He cannot. He is overwhelmed. Dead.
Or not Danby. I think it was there. The other Neon.
Nongshim.
This was a really solid win for
like
Nongshim to prove that their style worked against international competition. But unlike Gentlemates, their next match was against a mainstay team of international Valorant. G2 were back at an international tournament.
G2,
but this time it was with former caster and local Baby Bay. They'd adopted the popular double duelist meta and were finding some success with it, which they showed Nongshim in map 1.
Bravery, maybe the name of the game, but look at the
Danby is on the new character. I don't know her name, but I know what she does.
Flooding back in, soften targets, but X-Ross doesn't care. Gonna take away Valorant, eye up a second. Brilliant work. A third not to be. Jorgamo's there in the blink of an eye.
Got him right in the back of the knees, Chad. You see that?
Just Ivy with the stinger. And standing guard is Trent. Falls on one, but Jorgamo on the trade. G2 looking like they ain't breaking a sweat today.
But ultimately, G2 were posers to this fast-paced style. Their experience with it paled in comparison to Nongshim, and once Danby woke up, it came time to remind them who exactly created this meta in the first place.
Danby doesn't give a damn. And it's a right read, it's a really good call, but can he still handle it? Ivy, you may know what's coming. It doesn't mean you can stop it. Nongshim again, just vicious in approach.
That kind of looks like.
Couple of key tools now, but look at.
Sorry, that kind of looks like. I forgot that looks
this
like.
could be.
I'm so Arknight's I'm so Arknight's pill that look like that looks like Tung Tung's weapon.
Everything they dreamed of. Danby trying to identify the players on the site. They've got him dead to rights. Danby.
I got Tung Tung today, which is kind of nice, but that also means I didn't get Feng Yi. Not as good. Not as good. I mission failed successfully.
Doing magic work here for Nongshim. And Danby. Oh my God, he's deleted. Go on, baby bait. Let's see what you've got for us. He's put him on notice. He's put him on notice. Oh my God. Swing timing here. It's time to go. G2.
Yeah, that wall used to do damage.
Danby
It doesn't do damage anymore.
Takes down Jaw. 3 players. And of course, it's Danby at the helm.
Boom, get in there. Yeah.
As Trent, last man alive.
Dude, Danby ran in there.
Trent. This is a lot to ask of anyone. And it's not
There it
gonna
is.
happen.
14 to 12.
Nongshim. It took a long time to get here. But my God, do they
That's a
make it
long
their own.
game. 14 to 12?
14 to 12.
That's 26
and that match
rounds.
put
Holy.
Nongshim onto the podium with a guaranteed top 3 finish. This was already an insane result, but just like Danby's Neon, they showed no signs of slowing down heading into the upper final. But this would be a very different game to the first two, as they were
Player
up against
moment.
the only team who didn't play that dominant double duelist style, the world champions NRG.
Oh, NRG.
I just want to reiterate how crazy this run was from Nongshim. They were a team who had ascended from Premier, made up of 3 19-year-old friends, 1 18-year-old, and a failed veteran, representing an instant noodle company. And they were playing for a spot in the grand final of an international
Noodles,
major tournament against 4 world champions, one of whom is among the most iconic players in North American FPS history, against one of the most storied organizations in esports history.
They have like
this
a
was a
Cinderella
match
story.
that never should have been possible. But Nongshim didn't really care about all that. They might as well have been playing in their bedrooms again, with the way that they were styling on NRG.
Players waiting in the smoke. Pop comes in.
It's going in.
Danby
It's going in.
chasing them, and he's been sent right back to spawn.
Boom.
But it's not just Danby. He's got his boys by his side, and Marta has to
Oh,
go
the
huge.
Yoru
Not gonna happen.
stun.
Nongshim with a brilliant-
That was a big
Danby's
Yoru
space control
stun.
As well is going to be a problem. They
Got an
have
op.
to diligently clear this. And
Boom.
Francis, being the proactive
And he's
player.
out.
Nobby's timing. He's not
Oh.
going to drop there. So it's going to be Francis in the 1v2. Stars have looked. Barrel's shown. He's seen it.
Get in
He's
there.
just gone for
Got
the
it.
pistol. I guess
Easy.
that's one way to do it. 1v1 now. Francis up against Scuba, and Scuba's been nuts at being the backbone
Get
of
it.
this team.
There it is.
But Francis is faster. That's Nongshim. That's the impact this man can have. Facilitated
This
that
is a
first
2-2.
pick. The C's comes in.
Damn.
These guys work so well together. Fight on the back lines breaks out. It's
12 to
Scuba
9.
win.
Okay.
And Kiko clearing Francis, but there's still 3 here. Ivy can still buy time.
There's the judge.
And
The
Danby
judge still doesn't
still has that
stop.
judge in hand. Pops the
Here we
ult.
go.
He wants this done, but Scuba is answering back. Blow for blow. Danby!
Dude, look at
Are
him
you closing
maneuver
this
around the fight.
with an ace right now, giving
Oh,
everything he can
he almost
for the
had it.
1v1. It's too little, too late. NRG fall at the hurdle. As
That's sick.
Nongshim
Most of the resources
so
from
good.
NRG's side was put into stopping Danby, which they were kind of successful at, but they didn't account for the second layer of firepower, Francis. His opping on Yoru took over the first map of Bind, and that momentum did not stop on Abyss.
Francis just knows where he is. He just knows where to be.
The first hit, Umby just chomping at the bit.
I think they thought Scuba was dead.
Oh,
Francis.
Francis.
Gonna make sure. Great trade again from Kiko.
Francis just has insane aim.
But look who's here.
Look at the taps that he has.
It's the downfall of
That's
NRG.
4 right there. They didn't even get him.
Kills.
I can't hit him.
Like,
bro.
it's insane. Too, chat, you got to keep in mind, these aren't just random players that these guys are just running over. They're running over, like, pro players, right? Like, it's always cool to see when someone just dominates in a professional setting, right? Because anyone could do, you know, anyone can run over somebody in, like, what's the word I'm looking for? In a pub game, right? In a whatever tournament-style game, so people just aren't used to playing together and stuff like that. There's a lot of difference in like experience when it comes to like people who play offline and then people who play LAN and tournaments and stuff like that. And these guys are just running over everybody.
Trying to stall out any sort of split here. Francis trying to lead the way in for Dub.
This is, I think this is a second round. Yeah, it's the second game.
Still alive, but RB
This one's closer though. This one's actually a really close game.
Brook might be overwhelmed here. He's got 2 players to handle.
He can almost go into overtime.
Split through heaven. It's a fight on 2 fronts, and Nongshim are winning out so far.
Time here. NRG to reset a little bit.
Who's alive? X-Ross, RB, and Francis.
Nico, Nongshim, it's all down to Mana.
Oh.
Nongshim with a meteoric rise. The time. Oh, they've got it. 13 to 11.
She's so hype. I love that.
This win was by far the biggest win of these players' careers. Not only had they destroyed the world champions 2-0, but winning here put them as the upper seed into the grand final, giving them a double map ban against whoever won out in the lower bracket. Nongshim suddenly found themselves as the favourites to take home the trophy, but there was one more opponent that stood in their way, a team that somehow Nongshim had never played, but who had inspired their very rise from before this team was even formed. Nongshim were the strongest W gaming team of Master Santiago, but they were not the strongest W gaming team of history. That title belonged to Paper X.
Paper X?
Forsaken to stand tall. He's taken 3.
The strongest team of today versus the strongest team in history.
And it is Paper X. But now,
Forsaken. Something.
How are you doing this again?
Ticket TV! Ticket TV!
They've got a. Wait, where's he off to?
What?
Oh my! Oh no way! What? Oh, is that from Jing?
Are you kidding me?
Wait, where did he go?
I've never seen something that wild.
This was an all-Pacific
I didn't actually see where he went.
But Nongshim and Paper X had somehow never crossed paths in an official match until now. Paper X hadn't quite figured out the double duelist meta to the same level as Nongshim, but sheer firepower and plot armor had led them to another Masters Grand Final. If they won here in Santiago, that would mark a second Masters title in a row for this team. And it was not going to be easy to stop them.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another day of BCT Pacific. I'm Achilles, that's Paper Thin, and oh baby, an all-Pacific final here at Masters Santiago.
It's an insane matchup. 2 of the most explosive teams you have on the planet right now.
Nongshim had a chance to make history in this final, but with the pressure at an all-time high and the crowd louder than ever, could they really do it? Make an undefeated run to the first trophy of the year as a team with an average age of less than 20, coming from Premier, with a team that started out as a group.
I don't actually know what the average age of Valorant players is. I assume it's kind of young, right? Because I think for what is it called, for CS:GO, I think it's older players, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't really know because I don't really know the pro scene for. I don't really know the pro scene for CS:GO. But because I know a lot of older people play it, right? It's kind of like at one point I even called it the retirement home when like all the streamers moved to CS:GO. I guess it's CS2 now, right? I at the time it was CS:GO. So I don't really know if them being 18-year-olds is normal. I know for League, it's like typically a League player will be signed at like under like 21, right?
Friends having fun? Of course they could. They'd already won a tournament that had their careers on the line, not just once, but twice, overcoming the most biased crowd in VCT history, and one of the greatest matches of all time. Santiago was bigger, sure, but in terms of what was actually at stake, there was no tournament scarier than Ascension. They were just here to have fun. Map 1 seemed to be an omen for the series going forward, with multiple close thrifty rounds in a row to start the game.
Paranoia to connect on the no on an RB to shut him down. Gonna trade back on some of these thrifties. X-Ross, however, some different ideas. Able to find 2 before getting taken down. Bottom of hut. With Demai on the swing. Is it possible? Can they do it? Demai, he says yes. Finds the one. Drop down. Has the read. And he has the shot. Damn. Welcome to Pacific, ladies and gentlemen.
The score climbed higher and higher for both teams, with some beautiful rounds from X-Ross.
They are like going head to head.
The double up. Envy now dead. He gets
this is as close as these games will be.
We'll find the
a flawless.
The score eventually reached 11-11.
Yeah.
And with the Vipers pit down in a 2v2, it was anyone's round to take.
One RB with 2. Player advantage, however, now going to be equalizes Ivy. Needs a kill on Envy. Lobs in that bite.
He's kind of free firing into his.
For some damage. It's a bit there. Spam continues. X-Ross
he got
forward.
one.
Flushes them both out. Now we'll slide back across, swing the corner, finds one, Forsaken dead.
It's a really good wall.
It's
a really good trap.
Down low, finished.
Oh,
Weapon scooped up, Tommy out like a thief in the night. Corralled in mid, Jing swooping forward to his death. Francis is there, swapping positions as it is Justify left. Finds a second, it would have to be an ace clutch. Turns back, RP. The next
Ross
one
is like kind of low.
Able to win it out. Here's the approach, but the time is getting away from him. 11 seconds remaining.
He could wait this out, or he could challenge it. He has
on the snake bite device.
a teammate.
Nearly dead, and the round is over. The map is gone.
Split was
Got
map
him.
2, and Paper X had been flawless on it throughout Santiago, winning 5 maps out of 5 on it so far at the tournament. But Nongshim didn't really care.
A wide swing could be his undoing, but still is going to be able to find something in the back.
Get
Ivy, two in the front. Trying to scale, stop them from collecting this spike.
That judge is a judge, but so much work.
Staying tucked away, but then Ivy
Is Ivy.
finds him immediately off the hot reveal. Except with that judge, meanwhile.
There it
Nice
is.
shot there, Tommy.
Oh, wow.
He has just stormed the front. Forsaken and something, both gone. The spike still a world away. Meanwhile, Francis
Is he up?
cleans up.
It's going to be any.
Francis on his Oppenheimer.
Not at all. They're being held at bay as Ivy. Right
Oh, this is not. This game's not even
forward,
close.
into the second, into the fourth. Ivy. The shot's ringing out.
He's gonna get it.
Looking for the swing, and Ivy will have
He got
it.
it. He got a
His
pentakill.
first global stage, his first grand final.
This is disgusting work.
Boom, boom,
Pops
boom.
into the
He
corner,
tapped all
and by
3
the
of
time
them.
Paper Rex realizes
Oh, he tapped all
it
5
is
of them
far,
too.
Far too late.
The pentakill or ace. I think it's ace.
Paranoia across. Dami needed to turn back, but it will be Francis to that second layer. To come to the rescue now, Jing gone. X-Ross finds Forsaken. The swing in. He finds the
Oh,
first.
he
in,
ducked
will fall.
that
It's not like this game
too.
was about to get more difficult. Map 3 was Abyss, Paper X's permaban, and Nongshim was simply destroying them.
Landing right in behind Envy. X-Ross to find two, but Forsaken to find one of these in response.
That first game was the only one that was super close. This one is like not even. These games have not been close since then. 9-2.
And then just hold the defuse.
Round to win.
10-2.
Chat. Fake.
Giving him
Pros
that
don't fake, chat. Remember that.
opportunity.
Pros never fake.
Ivy has the kill, and now the Spectre in hand. Still hovering around A main. Forsaken.
Oh.
He ends up getting red.
Is that another one?
Patiently in X-Ross.
Oh, it was a Guardian.
No, something also there, but Ivy still fighting. That Spectre put to good use. Francis
Ooh.
fighting his way out of a corner. Jing gone.
Oh. He almost made it out
Suddenly
too.
There's just nothing more. There's something to do. They will not give him the chance.
That guy's
They will not
kinda
give him the
weird.
opportunity. They will not give him the mercy.
It's like a double shot shotgun. It just like. It should kill when you hit twice. I was just yelling. Yeah!
This was not a particularly exciting grand final. The first 3-0 in a grand final in years of international Valorant.
Yeah, that was
And neither
kind of
two
a
maps
landslide. I'm not gonna lie. The first game was
That
very,
wasn't what
very
this
close.
Nongshim run or this Nongshim
That first game was very, very, very close. The last game, it's just kind of close, I guess. You can say it was like somewhat close. You know, they almost made it.
team is all about.
They almost put up a
Nongshim
fight.
may
They were pretty
just
close
be a
there.
noodle company to most people, but for those who have
Yeah.
watched their entire journey in the VCT, Nongshim represents a group of friends.
I didn't even know. Man, that's crazy. This is my first time even knowing
that put their all
this
into
was a
something,
team.
stuck to an identity they believed in, and used it to make their mark on the world. I've been Command, subscribe if you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.
That was great. I love that. That was an amazing video. I love these esports documentaries. I love esports, right? Although this is not the normal game that I would not the normal game that I would look at. The story is still the same, right? The stories you get in professional play and watching people come from nothing and just clutch games is great, chat. I don't know, chat. I hope you guys like this video. Comment, subscribe. I'll catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.